Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Heart Party. I'd like to introduce my wife, Cinnamon Cooney, TheArtSherpa.
Hey, how are you guys doing today? Are you ready to get your mermaid on? Get your flowy hair going and imagine being under the sea and have your favorite jokes and memes and songs all queued up. I'm really ready to mermaid. You can see I got my Kraken hat, and I got my really cool, this is my sassy apron on Etsy. She's just a friend and I buy aprons from her. It's mermaid themed.
Very pretty. What do you have there in your hand?
Today I have Tazo tea.
Tazo tea.
Tazo tea is a Polshy tea.
It's a very, very nice tea. I drink that tea a lot.
And I took your tea.
You took some.
And I wanted to say a couple things before we got into materials. The first one is an extra resource, as I turn away from the camera, that you might want is this color mixing recipes for portraits. I'm going to cover this in our palette, but if you can get this is not a sponsorship. This is just, I've had this book. It's a gift from my mother and I love it. And I've enjoyed it so much and it's a fantastic thing. Jody had asked about skin tones on the Facebook page, and I said we'd be answering that, and we will today during the broadcast. But if you can get this book, get this book. My other shout out has got to go to Shannon Pratt, who is the art junkie on YouTube. I've iCarded to her before. She sent me some happy mail, and you're being kidnapped in to open it.
Oh.
I love getting happy mail. I love it. I love it. It's the whole reason. Well, I have a P.O. box because we don't have a mailbox at the end of our street like our mail lady wants, so I gotta also have a P.O. box. We have a P.O. box so we can hear from people. Ooh, look at this. Now, if it came from Shannon, it's very likely to be handmade. I'd like to point out it has been signed by her, Art Junkie. If you check out our YouTube channel, I think you'll like it. Oh, and you know what? This is back from when we did Love Summer Art. This is her way of saying thank you for that hashtag collaboration that she got to participate. She was one of our original founding members, and I have a handmade Shannon Pratt here, handmade real authentic art junkie, and I've been wanting to open that up and shout out to her and say thank you. So thank you for bearing with me while I do that. And I'll do the materials, but do we have anyone to say hello to before we do materials?
Oh my gosh, there's so many people out here to say hello to. Jane and Mona.
Hi, Mona.
I saw Kim. Rose is here. I saw Marty and Sharon, Peggy. Got lots of familiar faces out there from past shows. Of course, there's we conscripted some people in here for some help with the moderation.
Yeah, you show up, we may just make you moderators. It can happen.
May just get sucked right in there.
Right in.
Yeah, everyone's really excited about painting mermaids today.
Guess what we have back? Can you show them? Is the camera feeling better today?
It is. We can go over to it. You want to see?
Can we see? No, but that is not it.
No, not that. What do you want to see?
The up close camera.
Yeah, it's over there. Let's see if we can go. This one.
No.
There you go.
One.
That's the camera. It's all fuzzy on you. It won't. It's only going to stay focused on that.
Yes.
It's fixed focus.
For this. Is that not good news, guys? And now we're going to go to the palette camera. You ready to do the palette?
We can go over there. Hold on a second.
You ready?
There it is.
Look at this. Now, I want you guys to just send John a lot of love because there was a huge amount of work to get the Sherpa palette back. And the Sherpa palette today is...
There you go. It's also a dyslexia test.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you what, if you have any dysgraphia, dyslexia, any of that going on right now, this is like, I have to find my first location, which is CAD red medium. If you need to save money, hue is a good way to go. CAD yellow medium. Another great way you can save money is if you get the hue titanium white, and yes, white does matter, dog's and purple, and phthalo blue, and I can't believe I did that next one right because I forgot to look. So that worked out really well. And look, I'm just doing Liquitex mostly today, and golden.
You said phthalo blue, right?
Phthalo blue.
Okay. Polyethylene blue is what we have.
Yes, honey, those are the same.
Oh.
And this one is green shade, not red shade. You know what? It's because artists not going to go running around going phthalo blue. They're just going to be like, phthalo blue, whatever. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Gotcha.
I'm back to me. You can come back to my face. Yay!
I'm over here fascinated by the color, so I'm just wanting to make sure.
Yeah, so sometimes colors have really long, annoying names, and they have easier names, and they come in shades that are confusing, like green shade and red shade, and you're like, neither one of these is green or red. And what they mean is they have a green undertone or red undertone, and it affects how you mix. If you were to take a color mixing class, then you would know. But other than that, you just, you know, the red one can make some ugly shades if you don't have the right yellows. So we do the green shade because it's friendly. Got a regular old canvas here, 16 by 20 inches. I don't know what the metric of that is. From Michaels, it comes in a 5-pack. If somebody does know what the conversion is for 16 by 20 inches to metric, please let me know because I'm so bad at that. Internets, tell me.
Internets, I'm sure we can intertubes it.
Somebody knows, and then I'm probably gonna get like this long letter from Clyde, but. But you know, if somebody knows, down here, there's information in the descriptions. And the descriptions, I like to hide it, and sometimes you'll see this little thing that says more with ... If you click more, it'll tell you more. There's also some share buttons. I would not be heartbroken if you did. Sharing is caring.
We love to see everyone's artwork.
Right, and I've got an assortment of acrylic brushes here. I'm mostly painting Creative Mark Ebony Splendor and some Pro Stroke, and it's gonna be brights, which are squares, Filberts, which are rounded at the tip, and some detail rounds in the inch and under range. And I know the brush thing gets to be a little overwhelming. We've got to do a thing about that at some point in the future. And I think we can just kind of get into painting this in, right guys? Because the first thing we've got to do is get this sort of covered with some color. So let's do that. I'm going to get my brush wet with water. And I'll tell you something that happens to new painters is they forget how important water is to acrylic paint. You've got to have a little mixture of water to make your heavy-bodied paints more fluid. So you can see how I've made that yellow more fluid. I'm going to take a little of this over to my blue.
Could you push the palette up there just a little bit?
Towards this
There you
way?
go, perfect.
Okay. So I've got kind of a blue-green shade going. I'm add a little white to it, and that gives me a turquoise. Add a little more blue into it, so it's a more blue turquoise. Turquoise comes in a lot of colors. And I'm gonna just paint in my canvas a solid color very, very quickly in the green and turquoise shade. And that's just to give our ocean a place to be in. This is almost going to be an acrylic colored ground. So don't even be too concerned about it yet. We've got to come back over with some more thought out oceany colors that we really specifically mix over the top of this. And I just want some depth, and the only way to get the depth is to get a color in there. Now I am going to have Chuck do a traceable of our mermaid today, but I would like, if you're up to it, definitely try to draw her in. I'm going to talk a lot about how I sketch her in, but never let drawing be the barrier between you and your creativity. Drawing is just a skill. It is not what defines artists. There are some of the greatest artists on the planet alive today never draw in their art studio. They work entirely differently. So drawing isn't what defines an artist by any means. And I'm doing this right here. See me going back. I want this to dry out is what it is. So I'm just pulling the extra moisture out.
While you're doing that, can I ask you a question about color?
You can ask me a question about color. Will I answer? I don't know.
So on the polyethylene blue that we're using, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So polyethylene blue, could you exchange that with, say, ultramarine or Southern Ocean blue?
Southern Ocean blue on this one, yes. Ultramarine, no.
Why not?
Ultramarine blue is phthalo blue red shade. The one I keep saying don't get and won't mix a nice color.
So
it has a lot of that tone to it, and so it has to mix with a whole different range of yellows, and that gets to be color theory, which we don't really cover.
Gotcha. So for ease of mixing with this, we want a...
You want a blue that is more greener blue shade. You want a cool blue, not a warm blue.
Gotcha. Okay. So
like cerulean blue would not be great. No. You know, you could get a true blue. You could get, I think, you could get away with maybe Prussian. I'm not really sure because I haven't done that one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta go blue by blue. But that's what you're really looking for. And sometimes if you're getting really wonky colors, it's in the blue or the yellow or the red. It's that your primaries have an undertone to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it now? See, ultramarine can be a challenging color to mix or work with. And then that's really funny for Warhammer 40K because the ultramarines aren't tolerant to other spacefaring people. They don't mix well with others either. Right?
No. Well, yeah.
And the ultramarines are colored ultramarine blue.
It's true, they are.
I find that very interesting. I wonder if we should ever do a Warhammer 40K. I think that's a whole different demographic.
Different than the Mermaid group.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the Mermaid group, not a Warhammer 40K group.
Now, would you happen to have the smaller picture of what we're going to be painting today, so they can pull it up?
I do. And you have it too. You can throw it up, but I have it right here.
I do. It's a lot nicer when you can pull that up there for them, because then they can see that. Yeah.
See, this was the design. I did this on Periscope. A lot of times you can catch my designs early if you go on Periscope or Instagram or Facebook and even Pinterest. A lot of times stuff will start to leak out of the studio. Like it does.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just getting in. Again, this is very thin. And I'm just trying to get this in fast, fast, fast. Fast, fast, fast. All right. Woohoo!
See, it is staying focused back there. We're using third camera.
And it's working?
It looks like it's staying pretty focused on the
you can kind of see, like, I'm not worried about it, and you can sort of even see that shadow that happened here where I had that weird open. It's just, yeah, but it's just an acrylic color ground, so I don't have to care. This is like a little bit like just showing that you're prepping your canvas, and you just got to have a color in it. I could have also done something crazy like red.
Yep.
But then it gets to be a whole thing, and I don't want to mess with you guys too much. Sippy sippy, everybody cheer Bunny. Wherever she is, whatever she's doing. In Bunnyland, testing things seen on TV. Dude, those TV people better start fearing her pretty soon, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she tells it how it is. And she doesn't generally go back and say, let me try this out again, see if I was wrong. She's like, your thing don't work, my hair ain't sparkly. She'll tell him. I'm going to hair dry this, and John's going to do his thing.
Hold on a second. Turn that down over there. Okay. So while she's hair drying, we'll go over and we'll say hello to some people out there. And let's take a look. I remember I saw some shout outs that were being requested here. Kyle, I'll come say hello. And the Rusty Palette, nice to see you again. Jane, good to see you guys. I don't have any trivia ready today. I spent most of today working on all of the funky graphics that we have going on, just trying to figure all that out. So everyone out there, take a little sippy break while we're waiting for Cinnamon to finish blow drying her background. And I'll put the music back up and you guys can just be chill for a moment. Yeah. No, I sort of took a bit of a cop out on this one because I didn't have anything prepared.
What'd you do?
I said hello to a lot of people, not a few, a couple people, I sort of chickened out. I said hello. And then I put on some awesome background music while everyone was just being chill watching.
No, that's not fun. No. They can't just be on background music. We don't have fast forward anymore. That's not cool.
I don't have anything. I apologized in advance and said that I was. Oh, check your mic there. I think you may have tapped it.
Okay.
No, the connection there.
I'm looking at the connection, but it's plugged.
Here, unplug it and plug it back in there real quick.
Hello?
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
No, for whatever reason, we're picking up some noise off your mic this time.
Is it the battery on it's low, or is it that you put it so close to my hair and everything?
No, we got some. This time we all of a sudden started picking up some weird buzz.
All right, is it fixed?
No, unfortunately not. I'm gonna see what I can do. Oh, there it goes. There. Yeah, I think that we may be losing that battery.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swing around a new mic for you.
Really?
I really am. We're gonna have to hold on just a second here, but I think it won't take but just a moment. Hold on just a second.
This is exciting live.
Okay.
Wow.
Back up, but I'm micless for the moment.
Okay. Do you want the snowball? Right there.
No, you go right ahead. It'll take me a moment to get all the
All right. So we're going to draw our mermaid in, which hopefully, yeah, that's probably going to end up being like an up-close thing. And what I want to talk to you guys about is gesture sketch. Gesture sketch is not like a stick figure. It is about the shape and arc, the flow of an object, of a figure that you're drawing. And so it's oftentimes much more exaggerated, but it helps inform what you want to see happening on your piece. And on something like this mermaid, let's see if I can enforce this so you can really see this. I've created a gesture sketch of this asymmetrical curve. All right. Now I'm going to do a nice circle at the top of my asymmetrical curve. And that's where I think I'm going to place my head. I'm going to come down about, oh, it looks like 1/2 inch. So my circle, just to give you guys some measurements, seems to be 2 inches by 1.5 inches. And the neck seems to be about 1 inch. And then I'm going to do my hourglass figure. So I'm going to bring my shoulders out. I'm not going to address my arms at this time. I'm going to curve in, because you know, we like the hourglass. Right? And then I'm going to come out, because even though she has a little fishy tail, I want to give her kind of more of a pin-up-y little figure going there. I mean, if you're going to be a mermaid, you're exercising all the time, the benefit out of that be fitness. So one of the things that gesture helps myself, an experienced artist, or you, a new artist, do is not get stiff in your drawings. And I can tell when an artist has like a lot of rendering skills but is bad at their gesture, or an artist that has brilliant gesture and when they have skills, it's incredible. It is amazing. The greats, like Michelangelo and Rodin, all of those artists were brilliant at their gesture work before they ever started working out the fine details. So I'm going to come out and I'm going to make her a little hippier than I did originally. And this looks like it's about a 3.5 inch width I don't know the metric again. And then I'm going to, much like my branches and other things, I'm going to have parallel lines that are also converging as they narrow into the tail. Parallel lines that are also converging as they narrow into the tail. And again, guys, there's going to be a traceable, so don't let drawing be your barrier. Alright, so I've got this here. I've got these nice converging lines that are happening. She's starting to take shape. Now, I was very inspired. I looked at a bunch of different mermaid art. And something I want to say to you guys about looking at other artists. And I'm going to include the artist that was that sparked my inspiration on this. Though I took no images from her. But I just liked an idea of how she accomplished something. When you are taking inspiration from another artist, that's fine. And you can do that in your art journals, and that you can do that in your personal life.
Hold on, spot. Cinnamon, pause. Where we seem to we're having some broadcast issues for a second. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay.
But we've lost our video feed.
Okay.
I don't know why. So this computer is up.
This one just went out.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Excellent. Are we going to lose this whole mermaid video?
No. Do you still see anything on? Oh, okay, we're back. But over here, all it was, we had some technical difficulties.
Is anyone still here?
Everyone's still online. I think that it's okay.
Thank you for still being here.
I'm going to go back over and make sure that we're okay. I apologize for... Okay.
Okay, so I was saying earlier about taking inspiration from other artists and the barriers and the boundaries that we need to set. It's okay to be inspired by any other artist. It's okay to take in techniques, ideas, or skills. But when you do that, then you're not selling that work, right? I mean, yeah, you might to a relative or a friend, but you're not going out there and commercially going on Etsy and reselling it. You're not out there in Fine Art America and reselling it. You know, you can absolutely be inspired, learn from, and this is different. This is not my policy. I'm saying other artists you don't know. We know each other. So we have a relationship and an understanding of like my use policy and how I'm very cool about certain things. But artists you don't know may not be cool. So that's the thing, is like if you're like, oh, I really like that idea of how that was done, but if it's real specific to that one artist, then you just sort of need to know, I'm not showing that artwork and as my own, and I'm not selling that artwork as my own. And if I do anything with that artwork, I'm going to credit that artist. And I will even do that in my, there's yelling in the background. I will even do that in my description just to make sure you could see where my inspiration came from. So, in the tail is where that would be, in this little fin bit. So I'm going to come out at about, it looks like 2.5 inches. Somebody may need to go convince the children that murdering each other is inappropriate. And I'm going to come up here. And I'm arcing out this tail, and I'm arcing out this tail because I want a beautiful flowy tail. I'm going to be working, and I may erase some of this back. And so now I sort of know where my tail is. And this can even go off if I choose. You can take it off the canvas or keep it on the canvas, depending on the kind of drawing you want. And now I'm going to come here where the shoulders are, and at the waist is where my elbow's going to bend. Your elbow, check it. Everybody check their waist elbow. It's very interesting, your elbow and waist, and in a similar place. So even if you're doing a stylized sketch, just make sure that your bend happens at your waist. Simple stuff. Easy, relaxed stuff. And the reason I'm hiding my hands is for you guys, sometimes it's nice to not have to deal with hands. Hands are one of those objects that our right brain, left brain gets in a battle about. Is John back?
No, not yet.
No. So that's what we've got going on there. Hopefully you guys are good. Margaret's in the control booth. She's been in here a lot helping us, so hopefully that's going in. Hopefully you're enjoying this sketch. I don't know which camera is focused on this. Is it this one that I'm pointing at?
Yes.
Okay.
because once again, I don't know what happened, but we can't switch cameras at the moment.
Yeah.
As soon as I took over, I tested it and it wouldn't work. I'm like, uh-oh.
So guys,
The moment he left.
I know that this has been a disruption to the type of videos you guys are totally used to, and the way we do our goofy cuts and our memes and pacing and everything. And all I can say is that hang in with us, because we're working on our live thing, and I think when we get our pacing and our rhythm and our technical stuff down, then this is going to be the most fun ever. Are there any questions we can take while we're waiting for John to get back? Any thoughts, any inputs, any ideas? Anything? Help me.
Let's see. Well, we got just some highs going from Laura.
Hi, Laura.
We have a few people who are concerned about how their elbows are touching their mermaid's hips and looking a little deformed. Whatever you have to say to them.
1, breathe in, breathe out. Check where you've made your waist. You just want your elbows to be bending there. If you were to create a pretend axis across your waist, right? That's where your curve should be happening. And I can even lower mine if I wanted to. And that's just a good way to check it. You just create your little axis and goes, my axis too high? Where's my axis? Because figure drawing is math. It's art math. It really is. When you really get into figure drawing, all that you're talking about here is there's one head here and two heads here, and how many heads? A body is 8 heads. Your body is divided into 8 of these. And, you know, from here to here is the length of your foot. It's really crazy. The Da Vinci sketches are kind of famous for that, because he sort of understood this weird symmetry that nature made. And then if you understood that math... Did you just switch cameras?
I did it a different way for now.
She did it. She's clever. Don't tell John. She's clever. So that's what that is. And so just resketch. Just keep tweaking it. Where's your waist? Get your line across it. Bend your elbows there. You can be as fanciful as... Actually, rewatch any Disney movie like Lilo and Stitch. Look at how they keep certain truths about anatomy going and all kinds of things. It's really fascinating to me to see how they distort things and yet maintain them. Where those artists make decisions and choices is brilliant. All right. I guess John is just... the children have taken him out. Sometimes the kids win. It's been known to happen. I got 3 of them, so he's outnumbered.
I was going to say, not really taking him out. We don't have to, go look for bodies in the backyard or anything.
I don't know, with my kids, maybe. He lived! He's back and he's alive. And no one's crying, so that's always good. Especially the dad. All right. I'm gonna do, because I want sort of a softer edge, I'm gonna do, what is the exact size of this? I'm gonna do a QVC trick. So look at the size of this filbert with the ruler. I don't know if I can, focus?
No, you need to tilt
There we go. So you can kind of see it's
not towards the light a little bit.
There.
There we go.
It's about a 1/2 inch. That's where I come, it's even better here. So that's when I'm like talking about these sizes, as I just looked at them against my ruler. We're going to mix some colors. I want it lighter around her and more aqua-y. So I'm going to mix a more, I don't know, I'm going to say greener color than I did before. And quite light around her. I'm going to take this around. I'm so glad I have the acrylic color ground around. The acrylic color ground is such a nice touch. And I'm working with lovely cool waters, healthy waters here. So I'm going to be using those colors. No. Did he just leave again?
I think so.
Okay. What's that about? Don't leave. So I'm just working this around. And what I want to do here, guys, is I want to create this sort of halo around her. And you've done this a little bit before on the angel. If you've done the angel, we're just doing this halo around her. And you're going to see how these aqua colors being underneath really benefit you. Oh, he was getting me my delicious sippy. My Tazo tea. Again, not sponsored. Aren't we all going to be excited when I finally say, this is a sponsored video? Because I'm always like, not sponsored, like I'm disgruntled, like, not sponsored. It's just so funny. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is work this around her. If a big brush is giving you trouble, even if you see me painting with the big brush, guys, switch it out. Switch it out. So mermaids, do we believe in them? That's what I want to know.
Definitely.
So Margaret's a yes for mermaids. How many people believe mermaids may actually exist in the ocean and we just haven't seen them? How many people believe that mermaids exist in the ocean and we just haven't seen them? Do you believe in magical things? I believe in magical things. I do. I'm believing in magical things. So we could do the up close cam here too.
Okay.
In this painting so people could really see it.
Let me see if I can get the mics. I'm back over here behind the mic again, trying to get all this, getting myself situated again.
I love how you keep saying, and you know, even if I'm out of town, you could just run this from an iPad.
So we had a couple what was that, Cinnamon?
I'm just saying that you're always saying, like, even if I'm out of town, you could run this from an iPad.
Well, you could if nothing went wrong.
Yeah, sure, Mr. Cooney.
All right. So there's a question up here that I'm going to try to scroll back to.
Okay.
And you go ahead and keep going, but I'm going to.
I'd love to. You'll love the question. Tell me.
I'm going back over so I can read it exactly. It was a question about selling artwork.
Happy to answer a question about selling artwork.
What is your policy about using our artwork and selling it, just in general?
Okay, so I have a Creative Commons non-commercial, which means I definitely want to use it and paint it and alter it. You credit, if you think of it, back to me. Personally, though, I mean, if you're selling to your friends and family, I don't mind. If you're, you know, just in a personal, small scale of something, I don't mind. I love when this is used at community centers to help them raise money and help their community. I love this in church. I especially love this in adult healthcare facilities. I'm not really sure where we're at with large commercial entities, businesses.
Right.
Right? Because generally a business would come to me and license the work and we would work that out. But for your personal use, and under that, I kind of used Marvel as my guide for my use policy because they're very friendly to their community.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that they allow fan art and things like that to be at shows, as long as they're not like opening up an entire cottage business based off Harlequin, they tend to be very like, we love you guys and you keep us going, and that's been sort of our policy.
Now, if I recall, they had a similar policy where it's like some percentage. So it really is, as long as you're not, as long as you're not selling like...
It was a reasonable amount. It was like 30%.
Yeah. So, if you're out there and you're painting these and you're selling them and you're crediting Cinnamon, then that's all, it's all fine for your personal stuff. Just as long as you're not, selling only that, right?
T-shirts.
Yeah. You don't want
to.
But if you're selling some of these paintings for your friends, your family, or our shows,
booking classes of 20 people at 45 a head.
Yeah, that's probably not okay.
Yeah, where you're like advertising. I've seen. Well, I don't want to get anybody like stressed about that, but that happens.
Yeah.
But the thing is like at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the art always stays free and is always out there for you guys, and that you have it to use. I mean, I've got incredible, wonderful people, and they paint these pictures on their jewelry or their hats or their clothes, and some of those end up, out there for sale, and that doesn't bother me at all. I am unique, and other artists may not feel that way.
And, if you have any questions, if you if you're ever curious, you can always just drop us an email, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll shoot you back.
But you know, your like friend or uncle or some local person at the frame store when you went to go framing is like, can I buy that? Yeah, you guys don't have to write me every time. It's okay. I mean, I want to hear about your sale and I want to celebrate with you because that's part of the art journey. You know, it's a very community friendly policy.
Yeah.
But it's not a good model for the art industry in general because it's not how the art industry in general works. Is what I was trying to say earlier, right? Like you don't want to like go paint a Leonard Afremov and then sign your name to it and sell it down at the craft show because that can be a problem.
Yeah. Now you have some really cool digs on tonight.
I have some what?
Your threads.
Yeah,
your
I do.
apron, your hat.
Yes, super cool.
There's been a lot of comments on the apron and the hat. Is that a kraken on your head?
That is a kraken on my head.
You want to turn to your right so we can.
Where am I going? This way?
Your other right.
That's my left. That's my left. Hand to God, that's my left.
Turn to your left.
Is it working?
Yep, it's tilting over. That's really cool. You can see the kraken on your head.
I love my kraken.
And then the apron is pretty cute. Yes.
The
Mermaid
this is Sassy Apron, and so Empty Nest Designs and Sassy Apron, I think we've been buying aprons from them since the beginning, since like day one. I found them, and they're fantastic. And this was custom. I said, I need to do a mermaid painting. Will you do me an apron? And so, I mean, like, I definitely pay for them, but, you know. So I'm going to create a deeper, darker ocean blue, so I'm going to pull out a little more red. I'm going to do something interesting here, guys. I'm going to grab a little cad red and mix it into my phthalo blue. And I'm going to get a very deep color.
Ooh.
And I see how deep and oceany that is. And there's a little bit of that turquoise I already had going. And I'm going to come work some of this color in my outer corner and blend it in. Right? Blend it into here. I want some deep ocean color out here. I want to say there's some deep water. There's some deep event happening. Far, far away. So you do want some deep, cold colors in your water. I think it's important. And so interestingly enough, CAD is fantastic for that, where I would never say, hey, let's mix some phthalo blue and some CAD red to make some purple, because they don't really make a great purple, even though they're red and blue. All right, and I'm blending it along here. Filbert is a fantastic brush for a blend, guys. It's a fantastic brush. And my pressure is a pretty good pressure. I'm pressing into the canvas fairly hard.
Are you using lionfish pressure?
No, because you wouldn't touch a lionfish. You wouldn't touch a lionfish. That would be very light, non-existent pressure. That'd be like this. That's lionfish pressure right there. That's box jellyfish pressure too.
Is this catfish noodling pressure?
This is catfish noodling pressure. Get right up in there and get that catfish.
For those in the South who know what that is, you can
Everyone
check
else
along.
is like,
Everyone else is like, oh no. And when you Google this,
it.
You're not going to believe it's real.
It's real, and there's a show about it.
Yeah, and that's what is scarier, is that the show is real. There's people who do this. And we know some of them.
So I've added some white to that dark color. I'm adding some white. I might need to add a little more to get a nice blend going here. Right? I got a little white going in there because I want a nice little blend between these colors.
Now, you're not mixing your color all the way into a smooth, homogeneous tone.
Can you see it on the up close camera? Or do you need me to move
no,
it?
the up close camera. Yeah, we can see it a bit on the up close camera. The color isn't as good there.
No, the color isn't as vibrant on the up close camera, but you can kind of see the stroke and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am very careful to not over mix my paint. See, it's all streaky.
It's very streaky.
It's very streaky. Don't over mix your paint.
And
don't overdo it.
Why do you not mix it to a smooth tone like that?
Because it takes out all of the painterliness of it, the joy of it, the streaks, the variables that happen and exist within the canvas that I rather like.
Can you pull up on next on the canvas and show that?
Can I what?
Can you pull the canvas up real close so they can see how that affects it?
Yeah. I gotta lift this up anyways because I gotta work my top. Okay, so this is normally a perfect easel. This is a best easel by European Also not a sponsor. But this is the European style best easel. It's on sale right now, like everywhere.
And you can really see how the paint blends across the brush stroke.
Yeah.
It's not even in there. That's really nice.
So we're gonna this is a darker color.
Really flat.
And get a little more blue going here. Some of what I'm doing, play with these colors because these are the fun ocean colors. If you've done the wave with me, you're really familiar with all these mixes. But if you haven't done any of them, this is a great place to play with that and then go back and do my wave and do everybody's little ocean painting because there's a lot of wonderful ocean paintings out there. There's a lot, and you should enjoy them. Add this right here. Now I don't want to take away completely the work I've done on my tail, but I know I've got to paint into it a little bit so that there's a nice blend and flow. And again, my pressure right now on this canvas as I'm working this background, I talk a lot about the light pressure, but I like this catfish noodling pressure.
It's very light.
No, this is heavy.
This is heavy pressure.
This is heavy pressure.
Heavy
We're
pressure.
noodling the catfish right now. That's what we're going to call it from now on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, John, you started it.
So while you're here, could you talk a little bit about Southern Ocean Blue and what it is relative to the reds and the blues?
Oh, so Southern Ocean Blue is a custom color by the company Matisse. I have some. I love it. Makes me so happy. If you get Australian sienna and white, you can make the most incredible Caribbean ocean colors. Is something wrong? Oh, okay. And it is, if you can get it, if you can order it online, Southern Ocean Blue and Australian sienna. I used it early on Heart Party. I did. And then I realized some people were like, it was hard to get it online. And, you know, if you didn't have a Jerry's in town or you didn't have a Matisse dealer. Matisse is an Australian paint company that is, in my opinion, every bit on par with Liquitex and Golden. See, I'm never going to get a sponsorship because I tell you guys the truth. It's a really good paint company. And in some colors, honestly, I think it outstrips everybody. Every paint company seems to have this sort of thing it does incredibly well. And the custom colors from Matisse are pretty special. So that's Southern Ocean Blue and that's Australian Sienna. You do those two in a mix and a little titanium white and you get some colors that are just wow. Wow. But I try not to do that on the YouTube show just because it puts you guys in a really challenging position to get colors and materials that you can't easily get just anywhere. And I don't ever want to do that for you. It's enough I'm like making you get like phthalo blue.
Yeah.
You know.
We're trying out that third camera. I think we've got its focused a little more adjusted now on the canvas. It looks like it's sharper on the canvas because I can see the lines a little crisper there.
So one thing I'm really thinking about here and I'm really working is this blend around her because I want this to feel like really nice and well considered and fluid. So I'm letting that flow and I'm following along her outer sort of shape here and creating a nice, because the lines around her I want to be fluid as well as she is fluid, if that makes sense. So there she is. I think she's looking pretty good.
Really nice.
And I'm going to work out some of the colors here in the ocean. Sometimes I look over in the camera and I have a panic attack because it looks so different than what I'm painting. You guys, it really freaks me out because I'm like, I know that's not how it looks.
So how would you say? So one of the things is that we have to work on our color adjustment because we have consumer cameras, not professional cameras. So we have to bear with the color matching. It isn't always as good between brands, and we're running mostly Canons with one Sony. So that's why you have a little color shift sometimes.
It definitely takes some time because this isn't a complicated painting. It takes some time on that adjustment. Now I am going to talk a little bit about skin tone. Right? And I didn't want to have to get a bunch of colors. Normally I'd work skin tone with yellow ochre. Right? However, she's a mermaid, so I don't have highly realistic skin tones. All right. So my base skin tone, I'm going to be able to do this, and I pull a little cad yellow out and a little cad red, right? I'm going to add a little white. And I'm going to get this sort of, it's a little bit peachy though. It's a little bit, it's not, it doesn't feel like a realistic skin tone. It's pretty good, but it's it's pretty peachy. However, it makes a nice base if I need it. And one of the things I'm going to do, and it's going to shock you, I'm going to grab a little of my green, if I've still got some here, and work it into my skin tone. And you're like, wait, what? There's no green in skin. Yeah, skin is a whole bunch of colors, and there actually is some green in skin. I'm going to paint in this base. You don't have to buy skin tone, flesh tone paint. In fact, it will look very unrealistic, unlifelike if you do. It is a lot of fun to mix it. If you follow the formulas in that color mixing book I showed you, you will absolutely always get perfect skin tones. Right? You're always going to get them. That is one really well conceived little book. I just want to make sure I've got the bases before I put her highlights in, and her lights and her shadows, where I put in the light and shadow of her. Now I'm wondering, are we painting this for ourselves, or are we painting this for somebody in our lives? 'Cause so many people said, I'm going to paint this for my daughter.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, who is the who are we painting for today? Who is the mermaid going to be for? Is it for yourself? Is it for a friend, a loved one, a daughter, a mother, a son, a father?
Yeah, art is an incredible love language. When you give art, it speaks to a real intense truth of who we are, which is why children give it. So when you give kids art, they really get it, because that's what they give when they love you, is they give art. Mm-hmm. So when they get it from you, they get so excited. But I find that just carries on even in life.
Well, yeah, I still love seeing all the artwork that people do.
Yeah, just you can kind of see that go in. But the blue is showing through, and am I worried about that? I'm not. Are you going to be panicked about that? Probably, and I'm going to say don't. Not important. It's amazing how many things feel like they're super important in art, and they're not in any way important.
So it's okay to leave a little bit of that color showing through,
yeah,
just getting some base coverage.
Through, we have so many layers of paint coming, it's not going to show through by the time it's in. Actually, it'll create a very nice depth to the painting. I'm making the top of a heart here for her tail. It's the top of a heart, and then I just paint that in. Right? This is what we're doing. So have we heard anything back about who is the painting for?
Oh, I was going to scroll. We'll scroll back over here and take a look. Let's see here. We have one for a husband. Jessica's doing it for herself. Jane's doing it for herself.
I love that.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. There's Art Junkie's doing it for her daughter.
Art Junkie's doing it for her daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Hi, Shannon.
So, yeah, there's a lot of these are being done as gifts. I know. I look forward to getting one and hanging it on my wall.
The mermaid, John?
I hang all of them. I like them all.
Me.
Yeah, actually, Margaret has a lot of my artwork. John has kidnapped a lot of my artwork. Margaret has, collected a bunch of my artwork.
It's awesome.
We're trying to keep all of the original show art together so that we could show that on our first event. We can just have it so that people can come and see all the journey.
So see, that's a basic skin tone, and it's gonna look a little beigey to you. It may look a little grayed out, but that's the deep. And we'll do pinker highlights and lighter highlights, and maybe put some purples in there to create some shadows. And by the time it's all said and done, you're gonna be like, "Wow, skin is easy. It's colorful."
Yeah.
And it's easy. Two things skin is. Colorful and easy. Now I'm going to make a dark green just with my yellow and blue. Yellow and blue. And I'm making the base color of her tail. She's got green kind of iridescent scales. That's sort of what I'm going for today. And I want a very deep color to be the base. So not black deep, but very deep. Like if you were thinking of a grayscale that was ranged from 7 to 10, from 1 to 10, this would be like, you know, a 7 or maybe not quite an 8, but it would definitely be in the 7 range. All the noise of family life. And I imagine in our house, as much as Dad's like, this can go on my wall, I imagine we've got 2 mermaid paintings and 2 girls.
Oh, it's true, we do.
So, kidnapped goes that painting.
But at least they're close.
They're close. So
Oh,
now you
so-
can kind of see how the tail is curved. And aren't you glad you put in that gesture sketch? Because that's how you get that beautiful curve and don't get lost into the figure drawing of whatever that you're doing.
You know what? We should take a quick moment to thank the 57 people that are out there watching us right now.
We have 57 people watching right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank everyone out there for watching us.
Thank
we
you
really
for
appreciate
watching. Thank you. And if you're watching after, right now, this moment is also for you.
it. Yes.
I sippy to you who watch.
For all
Sippy,
of those
sippy.
who watch, we sippy to you.
Sippy to
Oh, look at
you.
that! I have the wrong graphics up. I have too many graphic buttons. Fail.
Won't we be so charmed 6 months from now when we're slick?
It will be. It'll be like we'll push buttons and they all work and they don't go to the wrong things. And like video cables don't stop working in the middle, lose batteries. But see, we'll be so endearing. This is like UHF television live. For those of you
You're
who remember.
just sure somebody's gonna. Wasn't that a Weird Al Yankovic
Movie, yeah.
movie? Yeah, I think you're just so sure people are gonna know what that is.
Well, if you're old enough to understand what, the B side of public broadcasting television looks like.
Okay. Oh, you're entertaining. I'm gonna get a bright. Ooh, let's do the Q. I love the QVC trick. I imagine someday I will be on QVC. Sponsored.
That'd be awesome.
It would be cool.
Well, when did they let me on to mock you?
I think it's like a whole thing. So you can kind of get a sense of that size relationship. That's a little under a half inch.
Yeah.
See, I'm practicing. You guys don't know I'm auditioning.
You're practicing.
I'm practicing. I'm auditioning, y'all.
So, Rose made a very good point that we needed Sippy back here. Margaret and I.
Do you have sippys back there?
No, I might cough. I've been servicing all of yours. I made sure that you had refills.
Okay, well, thank you.
No, actually, I'm okay. I got water.
Now I'm ending her tail in this interesting sort of diamond shape. And then I'm going to create a little fin out this way and create another little fin out the other way. So I'm going to flow out, light pressure now, getting lighter as I go because I want the line to get thinner. And that's how you do that. If you want the line to get thinner as you go, you have a firmer pressure at the beginning of it and then you lighten the pressure.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that little outline of what's happening there. And I'm going to need a small detail brush. And generally what I mean by a small detail brush is something in this size that's a round detail that comes to a point. I'm not going to show you that. That's a terrible trick. Never do that. And I'm going to do a little white and purple. Sort of an interesting color. It's not really anywhere else in the piece. I'm going to follow along my little blue line with my white and purple paint. And it's going to blend a little bit. Getting this little color. If you want good flow, if you find you're having a hard time getting a nice flow, what you want is more water in your heavy body paint, or you paint with a whole separate fluid paint. Like, so if you were a mixed media artist, you probably have jars of fluid paint just sitting around looking for a project, and this would be a great project for them.
And I wanted to thank everyone out there for giving us those thumbs up and those likes out there. We really appreciate it. It helps YouTube know that you guys are here and watching. the comments, the likes, click subscribe when you can. That helps them know, lets the metric know that you're watching, and we appreciate it. We really do.
So I come on the inside of my diamond and I curl this little line back. And I'm going to do the same on the opposing side. And I'm going to curl that little line back.
Your rain lamp there is very fitting for today's painting.
It is. Everything is sort of really synergistic for today's painting.
Yeah, everyone's digging on the rain lamp.
Now, where these lines intersect, are we on the up close cam?
We can be.
We should be.
But except you're now in the way.
Okay, how's this?
Perfect.
All right, so just kind of keep it there because it's like, I'm going to bring this line up and flow it out that way.
Well, we're going to take a moment over there. I'm going to walk over on that camera and see if I can get a little adjustment on it while you're working on that. Hold on a second.
We are just working so hard on this up close cam, aren't we? Trying to get it to focus more or see better or have better color balance or...
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can adjust some of this contrast.
You really need to get some new cameras in here. Oh, goodness. Another little line that came up there. So we've got this beautiful little line, this beautiful little line. And that line curves to the right and then curves to the left and then back to the right again. Just a nice little relaxing line. And remember, whenever you paint something that annoys you, just breathe, let it out, dry the paint, let the paint dry, paint your background to cover it up, and just redo it. You can just redo indefinitely in acrylic painting. Indefinitely in acrylic painting. It has just an unbelievable amount of redo buttons that you can take advantage of.
That looks good.
Now, another thing that I'm doing on these little thin wandering lines is I'm not making them symmetrical. They're not all the same shape. They're not all the same length. And the reason for that is things in nature really are. So even if I'm doing a very graphic piece, I will break up patterns sometimes to still keep that feeling of something being really real or authentic. Now I'm going to come down and create a drop here.
So I think what we actually have there is camera 3 is just at a difficult angle relative to where the canvas is. So I think that either we need to raise it up and tilt it down or tilt the canvas. That one right there. So if you just tilt the canvas out, see how much difference it makes?
Yeah.
That's all that it is that we're just caught in that funny light. So another thing we've learned here, I'll be able to fix that next time. But that's what's going on.
And then, of course, coming out from that center where I've created those little matching points, I'm going to, in a darker purple, run a little line up. There's all these little whiskers that come out from her tail. Oh my goodness, I just glop paint right onto my canvas. You're about to see me fix a mistake. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get that up. Now you could get it up with a brush. And you just come in here with a brush and pick it up. I'm going to come, that paint's fairly dry, so I might come with some water and just erase it. I'm going to come with some water and I'm just going to erase that out because my paint was very dry underneath. I can just pick it up and erase it and it's just gone. Huh? Didn't know you could do that. Now you do. Now you do. And here, at this point, I'm going to make a little teardrop shape. And here at this point, I'm going to make a little teardrop shape. And see, it's this tail. I was inspired by a more interesting architecturally rendered tail. And so that's what drove this forward. And I'm going to include a link there where I got that inspiration from. You know, you go, you make it your own. You work those things out. I'll make a little drop here. And another little drop here. Because what's nice is sometimes people will zoom in on something amazing, like how fish often have these weird little tendril bits. And that's what makes, you know, like little sort of odd lionfishy strangeness coming out, and it's a lot of fun to play with that in your painting. How can you play with those things in your painting? How might that be expressed? You know what we just watched last night in a completely unrelated event? I finally just saw the new Mad Max. Okay, it's fuzzy though.
Let's see if we can get that.
It's beautiful, but it's fuzzy.
All right, let's see.
Focus it.
that
Ah!
Better.
Eureka! That's fantastic! Eureka! Oh my goodness. I am so happy about that. And how I get a very light line is a lot of times I just rest my wrist on the canvas. I've talked about this before, but the just resting your wrist or pinky or finger to steady your hand is really good. Now, at the end of some of these weird little tendrils, we're going to make a teardrop shape. Not all of them, just some of them, and paint those in.
We're troubleshooting live. How awesome is that?
I imagine for us, it's okay. I don't know what it's like for them. How they doing?
I think that they're hanging with us. They're giving us good feedback. They say this is better.
All right, so that's what we want. We want to learn how to do this where you guys can really see it. We get everything that was good from our previous show worked out. Right? These teardrops at the end of these tendrils, they really matter aesthetically, I feel. So you can kind of see those coming in, and I feel like that gives them a very oceanish aesthetic.
An oceany aesthetic?
Something, man. I'm having a lispy lisp
Ooh,
today.
that looks good.
Oh, when I lifted it straight?
Yeah, so you see it there. Yeah, you can. It's again the way that the light sometimes comes in on it. We're just
Well, we've got to work out a light. I think we need to switch to LEDs or something.
What?
A lot of instead of the fluorescents, a lot of the artists are talking about the LEDs don't do the hot reflection on the acrylics. I don't know if that's true.
I think it's probably a lot about what kind of softbox you run.
Could be about that. And I feel like I want to create some inside little divisions here so I can do some decorative work inside these little tail fins. This is also letting her have a little dry, and she needs a little dry. And I will continue down here. So now we have this gorgeous ornate mermaidy tail. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to define this body and get these skin tones in. So an interesting thing I'm going to do is bring some purple over where I mix my skin tones. We get a little yellow, a little white. And so I've got a very dark skin tone here. And I might even want it a little darker, so I'll grab a little more purple. And you're like, purple? I'm like, yeah! Because it's cool, it's underwater. I'm going to come up a little bit past my arm. And I'm going to bring the short inside line in. This is a simple piece, and if you just do the steps, you're fine. Remember, these are just skills. You're not really, if you get out of your head that you're painting anything in particular, a lot of times you can have easier time painting it. See, we're just getting in that shape, we're rounding out that shape, and I'm going to come along the inside of the arm here and do a similar thing where I come up. I'm shading the inside of the arm, creating a little shadow. Just doing that. Just having a blast. And you do that too. You have a blast too. This is just art. This is not life and death. Sometimes people get real stressed. They're like life and death, and they start really disliking their painting, which is, you're really talking bad about yourself when you talk bad about your art.
Yeah, Love your art. Your art loves you.
Love your art loves you. And by the way, the benefits of art are not in the result. It is in the journey of creating it. The things you go through when you make it. That's how art benefits you. That's where your brain makes new neural connections. While you're painting, get this, your blood pressure, your body chemistry significantly improves during that time.
And having artwork in your home to hang on the wall is really nice.
Yeah. It's nice to have a work at home to hang on the wall, but what's important is to know that you're a creative being that has something to say of value.
You know, they're loving your tail out there.
Oh, the tail is going to be like the bomb. Giggity.
So this is a sort of seaweed inspired tail?
Yes, I think that is, you know, a good way of thinking of it. And so we've got those dark shapes in there. And then I'm going to really come in here and add a little white to this and a little more red because I want it pinkier than what it is. A little more yellow and a ground. And this is about, skin tone is really about finding a color. William Kemp, whom I don't know, is not a friend of mine, has a really fantastic little video on skin tone. I think Clive's got some stuff on there as well. There's a lot. I mean, people do whole fields of study about flesh tones, but we're just talking about what can we say in this painting in a short amount of time so that you're starting to go, oh, skin tone is not a scary thing to mix.
Now, can I ask you about your process there?
Yeah.
Because it looks like you're just sort of blocking some paint over the top of of the space there. You were.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to blend or do too much.
No, what I'm trying to do is create fields of light and shadow. And I'm going to let the eye and I'm going to let the viewer, you know, do some of the other rest of the work. It's why it's nice to have a skin tone underneath. Mm-hmm. You know, because again, your skin should not. Somebody's family member had told them they were blotchy, and I was like, I painted a lot of people in portrait class. If you're not blotchy, you're plastic.
Yep.
I mean, not a good family member. Don't tell family members that it is not loving and helpful to criticize people. That is a misnomer.
If you don't have something nice to say, right?
Well, I mean, it's like this. People will go, well, I'm just honest. I just say it like it is. Look, I can tell the truth all day and hurt nobody's feelings.
Yep.
The hurting the feeling part, that's a choice. You can always be authentic and true and straight and direct and be really real with people and still not just out your mouth. It's totally doable.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, so somebody's like trying to say, well, this unpositive way I'm treating you is because I'm an honest person and I'm just direct. Really, I've had incredibly direct people not make me feel bad.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're being truthful with me and I don't have to walk away with a sad yick feeling. You know, sometimes I like to look at, does a comment or a person make me feel sticky?
Sticky? What do you mean?
Sticky, like they leave a residue of yick on you.
Oh.
Like you leave when you're like, you just need a bath and you're not even sure what happened. Like you almost need to decompress the moment.
Yeah.
And you're like, what was that?
We want to surround ourselves by people that make us feel good.
Yeah, we do. And sometimes, you know what, sometimes good people don't make us feel good. That's okay. That is okay. That is all right. We all have different things that we need. Like, you know, and you gotta know what you need and stuff like that. That's important too. So hopefully, I'm actually kind of happy with this. I feel like she's got some nice skin and variables going on here. So hopefully you guys can see that. She's got this back, and that'll look really good with her.
Yeah, and even just the difference between the camera up close, you can sort of start seeing a little bit of the brush, the paint stroke, the painterly brush strokes. But when you back out, it really blends together with the eye quite nicely and makes that
yeah. I might
shade.
just here, just put a little brighter highlight just right here to say that, you know, that's happened.
So you want to show me what you picked up there?
See, just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, but you're constantly just doing that. You're like, what can I add that contributes something? We talk a lot about additive things and subtractive things. That's true in people too. Some people are additive and some people are subtractive. Some people are about making the world better and are really about contributing, and some people are honestly about tearing the world down. We all have them in our lives. Sometimes we even find ourselves, I mean, let's have a moment place. Sometimes sometimes when we're angry, we're on the other side of the fence where we're like kind of want to tear the world down if we're having a bad week.
Yeah, it can happen.
It's the human experience. It happens.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't mean you need to stand in front of the train when somebody's having that moment, though.
Now, you switched there to a detail brush?
I switched. I should have. I got on my soapbox and I forgot to say something, and I'm gonna get comment about it later.
That's right. I'm keeping an eye on there for you.
They're gonna be like, "Hey."
Now, is that an angled
So
bright?
I'm on a small, sharp bright, which has been abused beyond all reason. I think it was a 6 by Ebony Splendor Creative Mark, and I just want to put in a not perfectly mixed, but sort of little orange yellow color right here in the teardrop.
So you're leaving some of the color below that to show through on that one edge there. I see.
I am. And I may fill it in. I'm just right now trying to see how I feel. Sometimes what you don't paint is as helpful as what you do paint, and sometimes you want to fill it in. You got to look at it for just a second and see how it is. And I may go ahead and finish those out a little bit, and I think I will. But you know, it's sometimes you're making a decision as you go, right? Sometimes you're making little choices as you go, and you're just working it out. I think I need one up here. I might have painted it first so I don't get my wrist in the wet paint. But that's how I end up with paint all over me all week. And my daughter's like, "Mom, you're covered in paint again, taking me to school. Stop it." I think there's something up with you. I hope so. I hope they think there's something up with me.
If we're doing it right, they do.
If we're doing it right, they do. So I think I'm going to take a little purple over here and a little of my cad red. I'm going to make kind of a very warm purple. I'm going to grab some white.
I pull that up there just so they can see what
Can they
colors
see
are.
that?
Yeah.
I like that color. I think it's going to really pop against this painting, and I'm going to paint this in. Alright?
So, which best easel is that you're using?
The European style best easel.
The European style best easel.
Mm-hmm. And it's, most places should have it at the, you know, they'll say its list is like 12 something or 14 something, and then most places will have it out the door in the $5.99. By the way, like cars, easels can be negotiable if you're going inside a brick and mortar, because they have overhead. Just saying.
And we wanted to say thank you to everyone who's out there watching. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We crested 60, and
We
we're
crested 60?
yeah, we'll keep cruising up there. We'll be over 70 if everyone keeps liking, commenting, and subscribing.
Sharing? Oh my goodness.
We appreciate
Thank
you guys showing
so
up.
much.
Thank you.
I would be very excited if we ever managed to break 100. I did the other day on Periscope, doing Pass the Brush, which was pretty exciting for me.
That was pretty exciting.
That also was a very exciting collaboration that was started by Susan Hiles. Right? She's also on YouTube. She's fantastic. And she came up with that idea. So if you like Periscope and you search hashtag Pass the Brush, I guess we're going to be doing something monthly there as well. So that's very exciting. I know I was going to show that to you, but you can see that. Isn't that gorge?
You can zoom in a little bit. Wow. We have this close up cam.
Gorge. I like that pattern. And then I just realized I want a very dark color there. So I'm going to get my pure cad red. Now I'm painting like actual cad red, but you can totally paint just the hue. And I just want that. Almost like, this reminds me of peacock feathers.
They do. It looks like it's an underwater peacock.
Like an underwater peacock. You know, underwater peacock.
And we want everyone to share these with us as they
Yeah.
do these. We've had-
Please come by the Facebook page and post them up. It can take me a little bit to get everything answered, but John will tell you I get in there for hours a day
oh yeah.
trying to answer stuff. And I try. I sometimes will get a chance to read but not answer, but I'm really in there and I really actually care.
So you guys have to bear with me. I'm a little jumpy with the keys still. We're working on it, but I'm getting there.
Now our last little touch on this. Oh, goodness gracious, this is going to give me grief. There we go. The last little touch on this is I want little spots in those eyelets. So I'm going to get my tiny, tiny brush again. I'm going to create a fluid red. Now you can, if you have the money, you can buy all these colors in fluid paint. What they mean by fluid paint is they're about the consistency of craft paints, like what you'd see at any craft paint, like Americana or Plaid or any of that, except they have no color shift and they mix really well and they're designed exactly for this and they're going to last like forever. That's the difference. But you know, you got to do what your budget lets you do that doesn't stress you out. Don't ever feel bad about what you're painting with, because like, you know, the point is art needs to be fun, and it's not going to be fun if your budget is stressed to do your hobby. So just paint with what you got. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this little dot in the center here, and I'm holding it up because I just need that positioning. So hopefully I'm not messing with John and Mark.
No, we can see it really well here.
Okay.
It's looking really good.
Because I just sort of need that. I probably should have started up here. Sometimes I forget about my placement in my hand when I'm working vertically. And I suppose at some point I ought to invest in a bridge, which is a piece of wood that mounts on this thing that floats over the canvas, so I can rest my wrist and have really steady strokes and do all that.
And when you're done with those dots, can we take a sippy break?
I would love to take a sippy break.
I think they're
after
really good.
these
There's a bunch of
dots.
questions that are coming up that I'm gonna
I
have
would
to.
love to answer some questions. I'm a little dotted up here. Woohoo! This tail.
The tail is dotted.
Tail is dotted.
All
not
right.
a tail.
So I'm gonna go back over here because there was some and first I wanted to say thank you to everyone who's sharing.
Thank you for sharing. Sharing
we,
is caring, and thank you for sharing.
I think that we have somewhere. I'm gonna take a look here. I think we have some video from one of our viewers.
Yes, we do. Would you like to tell us about that, John?
I think I can. If you give me just a second, let me see if I can bring that over. Oh, there it is.
Woohoo!
And I can press play. I think this is April and her sister, and you can talk a little bit about. I'm not sure which painting. That
So,
she's doing.
I got this on Facebook. It was really exciting to me, and we're working on our keyframes, which is the strange little kind of like stuff where you see the painting underneath. But April and her sister are doing the birds on a branch on denim painting, where they have the cherry blossom, and they sent me this time lapse of them painting, which it was like so wonderful to see them just sitting there and how they were getting the painting done. And then they sent me the finished pictures, which of course were fantastic. And I love seeing the videos. I really do. I do. I love.
Really appreciate
There's.
that.
I've got to find. I've got. I have a fan that is a pig.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And his little tail wags when he watches me, and I get videos sometimes of that. And his little waggy tail, and I love it.
Now, Jane was curious if you had have you seen her in her castle, her real castle?
I have not seen Jane in her real castle. I believe I saw a lighthouse. Yes.
May have was it? I'll have to find out. I haven't seen it at all. I'm gonna have to scroll back over.
I
here.
heard there was a castle.
Now, there's a. I wish I had some video prepared for this next question, and next time I'll see if I can.
What
'cause
is
I have to
this
go back to it.
question?
Have you ever dipped your brush in your sippy?
Who's to say I haven't yet?
I think we have some video footage. I probably have 30 or 40 dips on footage in archive somewhere.
It's dangerous because I paint with real cad. Real cad is not safe to be ingested.
And I would like to say that she doesn't just go on and drink the coffee sometimes, which we yell at her for. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to work on there. Huh?
But if you'll notice, I've actually done pretty good on this one. And I did, though. I was just at a friend's birthday party, and I dipped my brush in my wine.
Yep. Apparently, Jane does have a real castle, though, I think.
She's a real castle? Oh, okay. Facebook me the castle.
Oh, yeah. We definitely want to see that. And
Facebook it.
when you do, post pictures of your artwork, too.
Yes,
we want to see
please
those.
send pictures of your artwork. I'm going to get some Just Cad yellow. I'm going to dab it on the tip of my brush like this.
Comment, like, and subscribe.
Yes,
You help us out. And then dot away.
Dot away. You're so funny. Like, comment, like, and subscribe. He's like this at, like, conventions, too.
That's, you know. Cinnamon won't plug herself enough sometimes.
He's like, LinkedIn with us. LinkedIn.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about the technical parts of the show, you can find me on LinkedIn and ask questions about it. That's what it's for.
That's some yellow dots here. I can't believe how quiet Margaret's being today.
She has jumped in and out like as a technical, you know,
Yeah,
awesome
she figured
backup.
something
Like,
out,
yeah,
John. She's like throwing down with you. I think you better like, you know, kind of.
but it is. I'm just like, here, hold the headphones. Then I run over there and like messing with the camera, and then I have to come back. See,
So now I'm going to get a small braid. This is where a small braid can be really useful, and I'm going to show you the trick on how to get a very scaly, beautiful, wonderful, awesome tail. How would you like that? Super easy too. So I'm going to mix, and it's going to be a lighter color than what I've got here. I'm going to take my yellow over my blue, and I'm going to get a nice little green going, right? And I'm going to keep this all in shades of green because obviously I need it to feel different than my water, and I wouldn't want it to disappear. And I'm going to make dabs. Can you get a close-up cam of my dabbing technique?
we can just barely. I'm gonna pull that camera back down there in
Yeah,
just a second.
whatever you got to do to get this, because this is right here. This is people be like, oh my goodness, I totally love how you painted her tail. It feels like she's got scales.
Okay.
Scales,
Hold on just a second.
because you got skills. John's gonna come help you with that. I am definitely not trying to cover the tail underneath. And let's say, all right, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this class, but in my college in California, they actually had underwater basket weaving as a course. That's like a thing you could do, that you could pay a real course fee for, underwater basket weaving.
And then you would learn. Well, see, it's kind of important if you understand weaving baskets at all to do it underwater. There's a reason.
That was the justification that the prof used for the course.
Well, I can say I have woven a basket, and it is necessary to do it underwater if you're going to do it right.
Okay, that's funny.
It
and
is.
not true.
Oh, no, it is. That's
You've
why
not woven a basket underwater, John.
I have to. I'm an Eagle Scout. I
What
legitimately
badge
have.
is that, Mr.? First of all, I know you're an Eagle Scout, but what badge is that, Mr.
I'm gonna like pull out. I'm gonna like Google a basket weaving. It was a. Gosh, I'm not trying to remember if it was a merit badge or if it was
You have a
a
lot
belt
of badges.
loop.
It's a thing.
Yeah, but no, basket weaving was a legitimate thing, and
It still is.
yeah,
Yeah, because Margaret's kids are going through the Scouts right now, aren't they?
yeah.
And my nephews are going through Scouts, and
So
I think you're planning on putting Spider in the Scouts.
yeah, Spider and I, we're building our scouting truck.
So the other thing is, I don't really. The other thing is that you'll notice I'm not worried about having exactly the same color. Also, a key skill, right? And it's hard to turn, so if you've got to like come this way, you can also turn your canvas. Is also completely reasonable if you need to get a better position. Sometimes I forget that these things are just mobile and you can turn them, and that is often the best answer to a problem that you might have. And I'll make sure that the up close cam. So hopefully, how are we liking the up close cam? How is everyone feeling about the up close cam?
How is that? Is that working out a little better? We're see how people are, how they're liking it. So Spider, let's see. Spider's how old is Spider now?
3,
He's
5.
5, yeah. keeps growing.
Don't tell my kids I didn't know. They take that so personally.
Oh no, you just gotta think about it. It's like,
I have a question, Cinnamon.
You have a question, Ms. Margaret?
With the curvature of the tail, does it make a difference as to the lightness or darkness of the shade that you choose?
It will. Not yet, right? Not yet, but we'll need to get some lighter and darker colors as we're just trying to even say that the tail is a round object. Just even that general sort of, hey, this is round in the ocean. So something that we can do once we get it to here is you can add quite a lot of white to your mix. Quite a lot.
and why are you doing that?
Well, because her tail needs a highlight. And so towards the center here, you're going to see me making more dabs. And that is where the higher reflection on her tail is.
It looks like people are saying that close-up cam is working better now.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes you might have to spread some of those lighter scales out as if light has reflected out. Right? Turn if you gotta turn. Turn if you gotta turn. Alright. And you're gonna keep that going because we're just trying to talk about that her tail is round. And this is a way that we can tell that story very easily, very economically. I'm going to have a lot more of the white up here in this part. I'm going to come down. It's just fun stuff. It's just fun. Right? Look at that. Now, one thing that you can do to even add some more interest to her beautiful, interesting one. Is her tail not just, is everyone like, oh, it's just so
no.
easy.
Everyone says that they love the tail, that the peacock tail is very unique. They have not seen that before, and they love how it's turning out.
Yeah. So we're going to add this right here. Right? And add this right here. You know, and again, I'll share the link to the artist that got me thinking more ornately about it. She's way ornately over the top. Like her pieces are ornate. Unfortunately, she's not currently selling, but hopefully she'll reopen her shop. But that's the thing, is like sometimes somebody will get you thinking about something. Like when we did the floral peacock, you get to thinking about a way that something can be done. Guess what we get to do? We're nearly done.
We're close.
We're close. Right? So she gets to have the hair.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have the mermaid hair. Still the same, right? You can switch to a detail. I'm gonna keep it on a bright. You may want to switch to a good round detail. Oh, almost went for the drink there.
You can get a little sippy.
Can I? I better. I'm adding a little red to my purple. Right? Because that's going to be the low light of my hair, strangely enough. And I'm going to sippy. I think that everyone's going to find that doing her is just super easy, super fun, not a problem. Totally get that. So I'm going to flow. The wonderful thing about hair underwater is it's very flowy, and it can go a lot of directions, and it can do a lot of stuff. So I just generally pick a space and then just create a little flow of it and work it out. Right? Hair is one of those fun things that you can do to just have a blast in color and in texture in a painting.
It's looking really pretty.
Yeah, this is super fun. And like, you're her stylist and you decide.
I like the red hair.
Does she have frizzy hair? I don't know.
Red? She has beautiful red hair.
Huh?
She has beautiful red hair.
Well, someone I know likes redheads.
I wonder who.
I don't know. I think Luna.
She does too.
She does too. So, here we go. You know, just have fun. Any hair color. She could have blue hair color, though. She could have more green hair color. There's a lot of hair colors that she could have trick with hair is start with your darkest color, especially on a decorative piece like this. Start with your darkest color. Now, and I'm going to really go with a traditional long mermaid kind of mane event.
Yeah. I wanted to thank everyone who's out there with us. Our numbers are creeping up there closer to 70 now.
Wow.
Thank you for coming in and watching with us.
Yeah.
We really appreciate when you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us know.
And share it like that, because that's the only way
please.
70 people would be here right now. Is like that sharing and that sense of community.
And please post up your pictures of your finished artwork, of you and your friends. If you have video of you guys, please send it in. We'd love to share that with our community.
Now, I don't want to lose all that work I did on her back, right? So I'm going to make a point of avoiding it over here and kind of wandering over this way. Just that one tendril coming over some of that work. Right, because I want to keep some of that. I'm really proud of that. You know, think about that sometimes, because sometimes you'll get so excited about painting one section, you'll paint out something you worked really hard to get. You're like, you have that Homer Simpson moment where you're like, no! I mean, you can always put it back. You absolutely can. But sometimes it's nice to not have to. Sometimes it's nice to not have to put it back.
So Touchdown was saying that it might be nice to use interference paints on the tail to make some scale effects.
It would be fantastic to use interference paints on the tail, or metallic, pearlescent paint, or ink, or any of those effect paints could be a ton of fun on the tail. You could come in and foil some scales.
Do you have any of those things?
Absolutely. I don't have interference in at all right now. Otherwise, I would show it. I don't even have my pearlescent inks. I have neon glow in the dark inks. Not as useful here.
Yep.
So I have these different little tendrils coming in, and I'm just finding a little space of hair that I'm like, she's got a little flyaway happening here. Get that back under control. Just enjoy doing her hair. Have fun with it. You know, I was very gender specific, and then I did a mer girl, but I could have done a merman.
Yeah.
I just realized that was maybe a little assumptive.
Well, we said mermaid on the.
We did. We said a lot of mermaids, so I think that's where I went. Now I'm going to get some red and a little white.
And there's no wrong way of doing this. This is your artwork.
Yeah. And I'm going to get some highlights going in here, which is now this pressure is very light. We're now getting into sea lion. No, because that would be blowing at the canvas. But we are light pressure.
Very light pressure.
Moray eel, we're not entirely sure about feeding, but the tour guide says is very friendly.
Stingray pressure.
Stingray pressure.
We get to touch stingrays. That's right. So it's light stingray pressure.
Light stingray pressure. I mean, like, I'm here and I'm doing it, but I'm really trusting this little guy in the wetsuit that this thing is not going to eat my hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's shark pressure.
Huh?
That's shark. That's swimming with
no,
sharks.
There's no shark pressure. There's run away from the ocean. It's a shark. Use your brain. Seriously.
It can eat
I grew
me.
up in San Diego. It's a shark.
Yep.
Enough said.
Yep.
You don't need Shark Week to explain that to you.
No.
Shark. Look at that. Look at the teeth and the eye. It's a beautiful creature.
Don't swim with it.
Don't swim with it.
No.
Leave
Don't-
the water when
don't
the shark
pet it.
comes. So I'm going to get a little yellow here. And I'm going to add just a little into the red, just to create just a little drama. Small amount. Because the purple and the yellow will gray. And so that's, guys, we mermaid it up. We did it. We did it. We did it. We painted our mermaid, had some good times, and we painted our mermaid. Woo! Aren't you glad I don't have a singing show? Let's clap that I don't have so much singing. But I like to sing, so I do anyways.
and we wanted to, there's a lot of people out here that were saying that they appreciate that there's no, that we say that there's no wrong way of doing this, and don't let anyone say to you that there's some way that you have to do a mermaid tail, or some way that you have to do mermaid scales, or a right way or a wrong way to do any of this stuff, right?
No. There are techniques and skills, and talent is how you use your life story in combination with your techniques and skills. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just your life story.
And you can paint just like this.
Yeah. Really seriously, it's just wonderful to me when you paint. When you guys say I painted and I wasn't painting and I painted, then I'm just happy. I'm not Pollyanna. John will tell you that I'm not Pollyanna. I mean, I'm nice, but I don't just tell people things to tell them. I just intrinsically know some truths with it. As long as you keep painting, your skills are going to grow and you're going to do better, and eventually it's all going to click somewhere between painting 20 and painting 100. It just does for everybody on some level. And you find a creative voice and it starts to be really meaningful, and then all of a sudden all those people we were talking about earlier who like, I'm just telling you the truth, I'm just authentic and real, then you have a way to express how you feel about it that's healthy. You can get it out of here onto a canvas, and you can be like, I'm going to leave it in my art. I'm not going to take it into my heart, hurt my arteries with their hatred. I'm going to put it onto my canvas. Right?
Yeah.
Guys honking at you on the freeway, put it in your art. You don't even have to have a moment with that person at all.
No,
Just paint a mermaid, and you'll be like,
I don't think some of the folks here at home they're really with us today. Do you think we could put in just a little more detail on this? Maybe a little more detail on the tail and on the tattoo like you had.
would you like to see tattoo?
I think. Well, maybe pull over here so you can see it. See the
Oh,
little
that's
detail
right.
in the tail and the tattoo.
I was all like a lot more going on Periscope, wasn't I? Well, yeah, we could do that.
You want to pull over on that and show some? They just don't want to go yet.
Okay, well, we'll add a little tattoo. I'm going to get some purple, and I will add a little tattoo on her arm. You could look up a tattoo, or maybe you have a meaningful tattoo.
This is some underwater
Ink
ink.
that happened for our mermaid. It's just kind of a reflection of what was going on in her tail, I think, is when I did it.
Yeah, it looks
I think
really
Mark
cute.
Muir was around is what happened. And he couldn't convince me to zombie her out. So then he was like, hey. So you can keep taking this further. You can keep taking this further and, put a little dot there.
Little
a little
layers.
color. If you want to add more to the tail, you can deepen or add some highlights. I can show you that real fast. Like I could pull my yellow out and some white out and get a very light yellow, and I could even weave in some, if I didn't have aforementioned pearlescent paints.
I'm gonna go pull the close-up camera down a little bit more so we can see that.
Okay.
So hold on a second.
All right. Okay.
Let's get in there a little closer.
You can put those around. You can always add more paint to something.
Oh yeah.
But you can always know when you need to stop. Like I could take this light color and work it into the tail somewhere.
And while we're hanging out here in overtime, please comment, like, and subscribe. Help YouTube know that you're out there, you're watching and staying with us. We appreciate it too. It helps us know that you're out there with us.
So you can add that to the tail and add another little dimensional layer. I mean, you can just keep adding little dimensional layers. You can do a deep, deep scale on her tail. You can take the green and add a little purple to your green and blue and create a deep, deep scale, deeper than even your ocean color. And you can come along this outer edge here if you want to. You can always push a story further. You can always look for some richer, more considered thought.
Just those little layers, huh?
Just those little layers. Just keep, there's when you're painting, there's always more layers. But then it's also good to know when a painting is done and being able to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a balance, because there's a point where you can overwork a piece and you lose some of its freshness and immediacy, some of what you liked. You know, so.
And thank you to everyone out there who's saying they're going to upload some pictures for us. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you guys, Mona.
Yeah,
we always
thank you guys
appreciate
very,
it.
very much. I got some deep purple there.
Thank you. Oh, deep purple. We love deep purple.
Yeah.
You know, this
that
water
actually accidentally happened, and now I'm in it, and I like it.
Yeah, you should put some smoke in the water too.
Okay, so we're about to wrap up.
Oh, come on.
And I think this is good.
I like it.
And I love you guys. I think you're amazing. You might, if your hair is really, really dry and you really, really want to give it some highlight, you can come in to your purple and with some white. And this wasn't in the original, but this is something that you could do. And then, given the noise of my kids, I think I'm really...
Pull up on that so you can...
Yeah, just another little layer. You can always, you know, that high highlight, you can always add and work into hair is fun. When you could get your hairdresser to do this exact color hair, I've been trying forever.
And thank you to Margaret. She's been jumping up and down in between seats as I go back and forth between cameras and sound, trying to make sure.
There she is. I think we can really, really say that she's very, very good. You know, you keep working your details. You can put yourself into it. Remember, you can put yourself into it. You don't have to necessarily use my color palette. You don't necessarily have to do things the way that I'm doing them. And if you do this like one time like my way, you could experiment in some way and go, what if she was living off planet and her ocean were red? How would that be? Right? What if all these, instead of blue greens, were beautiful red tones? You could do that. There's just no limit to how you can play and experiment. And what do you do if it goes really bad and it doesn't work it out? Sippy, sippy.
Breathe in.
Next painting.
Next painting.
This doesn't matter.
Take a picture, mail it to us.
All the time. Sometimes I do painting and I'm like, ooh, that seemed like a good idea when I thought it up, but now I'm looking at it. Gesso time. So it happens to my mother, Ginger Cook Live. She gessos over stuff all the time. We all do it. It's just not a big deal. There's a rhythm, a cicada kind of rhythm to painting that we have where we like it comes together, and then there's some working it out, and then it comes together and it's working it out. So that is really what it is. Just a journey.
Yep.
I want to see you guys at the easel really soon.
Thank you for being here with us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.